Okay, Linda, Margot, Luciano, I'm here. I've been watching y'all in the chat and I've been biting at the bit to get on here. I wanted to say something, so I don't know if my chat was showing up or not. But, as we do every live stream, I have to say hello to my dear friends, Linda Horner and Margot Dahlgren and Luciano. Thank you for being here. Before time, it's probably going to take a while. It is Friday night before Christmas. So, a lot of people are out shopping and doing this and that and the other. So I don't know how many people will be here tonight. I'm showing the three of you. It'd be nice to get at least 10. So until I get a couple of more, a lot of people don't get my notifications until after I go live. And so then they come or they don't. But anyway, tonight we've got a pretty good topic, and we're going to bounce off of that for a while, and we're going to talk about some other things too if I get to it. We got 4 in here now, looking good, looking better all the time. But I just want to gather people in here, and those of you that are watching this on the replay, I want you to subscribe. I love my subscribers. I have some great people, and without them, I would not even have a channel. People like those of you in here now, Linda, Margot, and Luciano, and 12B Georgia, and people like you. So without you, I wouldn't have a channel. So hit the like button if you would on the way in or the way out, and that'll make me happy. Hey, Fred, how you doing? Fred Nault, my brother. Be sure that you leave a comment anytime on any of my videos, on any of my replays. Hit the bell icon. You'll know I'm going live. But don't just hit the bell icon for me. Hit the bell icon for people like American Joe, Tony Patriot, Pete the Patriot, DM and History B, Knight's Armory, The Dangerous Deplorables on Deplorable Bobby's channel. We're going to try to get our own channel, Dangerous Deplorables, and we're going to get that off of my channel and start doing it on our own channel. So if that happens, I hope y'all follow us over there so we can get to the people that we love, and y'all can hear what we got to say. But we're not going to do that right away, but we're thinking about it. But you have to remember Dangerous Freedom. He also leaves videos, as well as Liberty Smith and Florida Jim. You have to remember Disabled Vets Perspective on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. He has a great perspective on a lot of things for the VA and for veterans. Plus, he has a lot of other ideas going on, and he's on a lot of other shows. So this guy's got a lot of information. California Critic, a great guy from California, a young guy. He doesn't have near enough subscribers. His channel is good enough. He should be in the thousands by now, but he's faltering. So go to California Critic and subscribe to him. Charity's Clarity. Remember Charity O. She's a great lady, as well as Ashley. And of course, DM DeMod. We always have to remember DM. So we've got 7 people in here. I'm not going to dilly-dally around and wait for more. There's really no need. I've got my friends in here, and Darla made it, and Vince Dunn, and Fred Knott. If you guys would share this out, and maybe we'll get some people in here from some other places. But I want to talk tonight about some stuff. And I'll tell you, if it bothers you like it bothers me, you won't mind hearing this, because this stuff will literally make you sick when you really think about what's going on our southern border in America, because of the southern border, and how everything is just crazy. Well, we've been stuck on 7 people for a little while, so I'm not going to dilly-dally. Like I said, I'll go ahead and get into it. Hopefully more people will join. But if not, I want to thank y'all for being here. President Trump wants to designate drug cartels as FTOs, foreign terrorist organizations. And I think he should. You know, all these groups designated foreign terrorist organizations face intense scrutiny from the U.S. government, from all their agencies, and there's increased sanctions on all of them. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you increase sanctions on a cartel. I can understand increasing sanctions on a government, but anyway, that's what they're saying. They're going to increase sanctions. So President Trump's decision to officially designate the Mexican cartels as foreign terrorist organizations is not technically accurate. It's vital to the end the needless carnage on both sides of our southern border. We have to end the carnage by the cartels on both sides of our southern border. We finally got to that number 10 mark. Thank you for being here. Chrysler, Vince, Fred, Liberty Smith, glad you're here, my brother. We had a good talk this afternoon. I love Liberty Smith. He's a great guy. But you know, we've got a big problem on the southern border with these cartels. They pretty much run Mexico. You know, they've been plagued with escalating cartel aggression for over 20 years. You know, if you go back and look at the history of Mexico, they're defining the concept efforts and the concerted efforts of successive governments that have been in place in the last 20 years, and the cartel is still in control. The government cannot achieve enough over successive presidents. Nobody's been able to defeat the cartels. So these cartels run Mexico. You have to understand that. These cartels are not just name only cartels. We're talking about vicious, evil, mean, killers, murderers, rapists, drug runners, drug traffickers, child abusers, child rapists. We're talking about the scum of the earth in these cartels. They take over cities. They take over entire districts. They dang near took over the entire country of Mexico. You know, violence in Mexico is at an all-time high. And I don't know how it could be any higher than what it's been over the last 20 years. But as dozens of these cartels exercise complete control over large areas and territories in Mexico, they terrorize the citizens and they wage an all-out war on the Mexican police and the military, and they defeat both. These drug cartels fight the military and win. What does that tell you about these drug cartels? That tells you that they're better armed and they're better manned. And they have a purpose. And their purpose is drugs, human trafficking, murder, extortion. All of those things that come within a mafioso type of organization. But you know, in October, the cartel members laid a siege to a Mexican city. They laid siege to a whole Mexican city in order to free the son of the drug lord, El Chapo. Remember him? I'm sure you've heard of El Chapo. El Chapo is the biggest drug cartel kingpin that ever lived. He was the man behind everything, pretty much in Mexico. Nobody balked El Chapo until the day he got caught. But even the son of El Chapo, they laid siege to an entire Mexican city to spring this guy out of jail. Troops from the Mexican National Guard had to stand down in order to prevent their own massacre. Can you believe that? This city in Mexico had the National Guard troops there protecting this El Chapo's son, the prisoner, from being taken from the cartels, but they were told to stand down to prevent their own massacre because they were outmanned and they were outgunned. Do you see where the cartels are going? This allowed the criminal cartel to liberate a large group of inmates from this prison. The gravity of the cartel situation is closer to home when you think about the 9 American citizens that died about a month ago in Mexico because they were riding in SUVs and they were mistaken. 9 women and children were killed by the cartel because they thought it was a rival cartel in those vehicles. Don't feed me that, not for 1 minute. They knew that these were not drug cartel vehicles. They knew they were vehicles from a compound that was run by the Mormons. They knew that they had 3 women and I believe 6 children in those vehicles. They knew what they were doing. They killed those Americans as a thumbs up your nose to the Americans, saying, we don't care about you. We're bigger than you are, just like we're bigger than Mexico. And in the days after, President Trump announced his intention to label these cartels as FTOs, foreign terrorist organizations. So what? So now he's labeled them an FTO. What does that mean? It means we've reached another horrible reminder of the severe crisis on our southern border. That's what it means. It means that we have diagnosed this problem. We see it for what it is, and it is a crisis on our southern border. When the Mexican town just south of the border, get this, people, I'm talking just south of the Texas border. Let me get my papers straightened out here. They're not cooperating. This has become ground zero for a full-blown gun battle between Mexican security, the cartels, and security forces, leaving 22 dead, including 4 police officers. Now, this just happened just south of the American-Mexican border. The dangers posed by these militarized criminal organizations are not restricted or confined to Mexico crimes of extortion, drug smuggling, sex trafficking, murder for hire, and it's on both sides of the border. These people are not restricted to Mexico. They're coming across into America and doing the same things. And that's what we as Americans have to be aware of. We worry about the cartels in Mexico. We know what they're doing. They take over entire cities, entire districts, just to spring some kid of a drug kingpin out of prison. They take over the whole city. And now they're coming into the United States and they're doing the same thing. But you don't hear reports on that. So you're not going to hear those kind of reports when those people come across our border because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that gangs of murderers, thieves, and thugs come across our border at will and commit crimes along with MS-13, but I'll get with them in a minute. But here in the United States, we have a dangerous influx of criminals, including the notorious violent MS-13 gangs. They're welcomed here by the Demon Rats as an arm of the Demon Rat military. In much the same way Dems support the terrorist called Antifa. Just another military arm of the Demon Rat Party. So you see, they want MS-13 here. They want the cartels pushing their people across the border. They're wanting this. See, they're wanting Antifa to rise up. They're wanting Antifa to protest, knowing and hoping and praying that some American patriot will get just a little bit too close. And then all hell's going to break loose because that's what they want. The demon rats want hell to break loose north of Marietta on the Kennesaw line. I'm going to tell you, they want hell to break loose in your town. They want hell to break loose in your city and on your street. They want hell to break loose all across America. And that's what these demon rats really want. They think that's what they want. They don't realize they're not smart enough to figure it out. They think that they're going to cause trouble. Look at Virginia. Just look at Virginia. And then look at South Carolina. Virginia is 95% red. You've got a governor, a lieutenant governor, and a secretary of state or attorney general, whatever he is, next. They're all three Democrats. They all three believe in abortion after birth. They believe in wrapping the baby up, laying on a cold steel table. Let it lay there for 30 minutes to an hour. And let's talk about it, doctor. Do we want to keep this baby or not? No, that's not what we do, Governor Northam. That's not what we do to our children. He said himself that he would not have a problem executing that baby himself if the mother and the doctor so desired. So you see, this man is evil. He's worse than Nancy Pelosi. He's worse than Hillary Clinton. He's worse than all of them. This man who is governor in Virginia is Satan incarnate. I tell you right now, this man is evil. There is no good in him, just like there's no good in Pelosi or Schiff or Hillary. But this man is at the top of the list. This is the man in Virginia who wants to kill babies after birth. And he also wants to take your guns. And he's going to bring in the National Guard if he has to. We've got sheriffs all over Virginia saying they will not abide by a gun confiscation order that is not constitutional by the governor. And the governor says, well, if you don't do it, there's consequences. I'm going to bring in the National Guard. Now think about it like this. The National Guard in every state comes from that state. So the National Guard members that he's going to call into service, he's going to call into active duty to police the area, to police the state. He's calling in Virginians. He's calling in your brothers and your fathers and your grandfathers and your uncles and your nephews. He's calling your family into service, and he expects you to kill your own family. That's not going to happen. He can't call in the National Guard into a state to where the men in that guard live. They're not going to walk into their own neighborhoods and kill their neighbors or their family or take guns from their father or their brother. It's not going to happen. But he is so delusional, just like all of the Democrats are. That's why it's going to be so simple. It's going to be so easy. We conservative patriots, we're not going to have a problem defeating these people. We may have a problem in politics defeating them because they're so corrupt and they're so embedded, because the swamp is so deep. But put them on the battlefield. We'll see who stands and who falls. Put them on the battlefield. Let's see who stands and who runs. Let's put them on the battlefield. Let's see who cowers and who overpowers. It's not going to be we American patriots doing anything except walking tall, carrying a big stick, and sounding off with a loud voice and making ourselves known. We are not going to be taken down by the demon rat party. And I'm going to tell you, that's what it's all about. That's why we have this trouble on the southern border. We have the trouble on the southern border because the demon rats want that trouble. They want it more than they want anything else. They want trouble on the southern border. You know, the Trump administration even offered them help. He offered the government of Mexico help to take care of this problem that they have down there. And he said, no, no, no. No, we don't want no U.S. help, because the U.S. might come in, kick ass, and take names and end this problem that even the government wants to happen, because they're as corrupt as the cartels. But this foreign terrorist organization clarification gives our domestic law enforcement more tools needed to protect American citizens by aggressively prosecuting cartel members and those who assist them. Well, my question is, who are those people, and why? It makes absolutely no sense. It seems to me that we conservative Americans want this menace. We want it confronted. We want it destroyed. We're ready to see it gone. We don't need MS-13 and drug cartels and all these punks and thugs and thieves and murderers coming into our country. And that's exactly what's happened. These cartel members, they have these Democratic lawmakers in the palm of their hand, that they obstruct and they resist everything the president tries to do to secure our southern border. And every day there's violence sweeping into our cities and our towns, because these demon rats are putting up blockades and fighting Trump on every issue. And it just can't keep going that way. But that's the way it's going. But in Virginia and South Carolina, haven't got to South Carolina. South Carolina said this week that they succeeded from the Union. Number one, they were the first state to succeed from the Union during the Civil War, and that they're prepared to succeed again. Just because of this Second Amendment law that everybody's trying to push, gun confiscation. They're not going to stand for it. They said they would succeed from the United States. Okay, so now we have South Carolina saying they'll succeed from the Union. We have Virginia saying we will not abide by the laws that are set forth by this governor and the National Guard. So what are you going to do then? So now we have a powder keg in Virginia. We have a powder keg in South Carolina. What's going to be the next state? There's going to be another one. They're going to keep adding up and adding up and adding up until a time to either they are heard or they're shut down. It's going to be that simple. According to statistics, we have between 8,000 and 10,000 MS-13 members in the United States. Can you believe that? Between 8,000 and 13,000. They don't even know how many are here. MS-13 criminals' activities include trafficking of guns, humans, children, as well as drugs. MS-13 is involved in racketeering, murder, money laundering, extortion, kidnapping, robbery, assault, illegal immigration. And MS-13 has allies in the Mexican mafia and the Los Zetos gang, whoever they are. You see, that's the whole deal. Why do we allow that many people, 8,000 to 10,000 MS-13 members in our country? Come on, people. Why don't we allow them on the street? We know them for who they are. Oh, I know. Oh, we can't profile people. So just because you're covered in tattoos all over your face saying MS-13 in your chest, in your arms, in your back, in your stomach, in your legs, you're tattooed all over advertising who you are. You're an MS-13 member and you're proud of it. Oh, but if we stop you and say, hey, you got any identification? Can't do that. Can't do that. You can't stop somebody and say, hey, what are you doing here? You got some ID? No, you can't do that unless it's a white man. And I'm going to tell you what, they don't hesitate to pull my ID anywhere I go. If I ever get confronted by a cop, they don't hesitate to pull me over. They don't hesitate to take my ID. They don't hesitate to question me. But when it comes to these MS-13 members tattooed all over their face, telling you what they are, oh, I can't mess with you. Go your happy little way. Go on. Get out of my sight. I'll swear I never saw you. They're not arresting these people. The only people trying to get MS-13 off our streets is ICE. And ICE has absolutely no cooperation from any police agency. They're all, well, there may be a few, I won't say all, but there may be a few that still are working with ICE. But more than 267,000, all right, that's over 250,000 people, aliens, were deported by ICE in the fiscal year 2019. That's pretty good. Over 250,000 illegal aliens got deported. Well, how many should we have deported? But how the surge of illegals at the southern border on top of sanctuary cities and counties and state jurisdictions, they drew away from the interior enforcement and the arrest of the convicted criminals, by ICE, and it decreased 12% because these cities and counties were taking them in. They were there to grab them as soon as they crossed the border. Oh, come, we'll take care of you in these sanctuary cities and towns. I'm going to tell you, that's really sick. That's a trade-off. And we don't need that kind of trade-off, or support. Because 4.4% of 13,000 fewer criminals arrested. That means that 13,000 criminals are still left on the street. So what good is all of this if it does nothing? What good is it if we still have 13,000 illegal criminals on our streets and in our towns, in your town, my town, our streets and neighborhoods? That's where they're at. 123,000 illegal aliens with criminal convictions or pending charges were arrested just this year. 123,000 illegal aliens arrested this year, with 489,000 crimes. So here you have 1/8 illegal aliens committing 500 million crimes. 123,000 committing 489,000 crimes. So that's about 3 crimes or 4 crimes per criminal. Do you see where I'm going here? This equals up to 4 criminal arrests per person. People, that's unacceptable at any level. It doesn't matter what you're doing. We can't allow these kind of criminals to come across our border and just to take over. But there again, that's what the demon rats want. So they want every illegal alien in this country they can possibly get, because they know that if they don't get them crossing the border to sign that little paper to vote Democrat, and you don't think for a minute that they don't do that, they're going to catch them somewhere. They're going to catch them at Department of Family and Children's Services. They're going to catch them at the food stamps place, whatever that is. You're going to go in there and say, well, if you want this, you make sure you sign up to vote Democrat. If you think I'm lying, I'm dying. I'm going to tell you, they are signing these people up to vote Democrat in almost every avenue, every institution, every kind of thing these illegal aliens will go to for help. Oh, they're going to make sure that you're signed up to vote Democrat. Believe it. Believe it in your heart. Heck, most of them were signed up to vote Democrat before they ever crossed the border, because they probably got to the border with the help of a Democrat. Don't close your eyes to the truth, my friends. You know, it's one of those things to where either you look it straight in the face or you just tilt your head down and say, oh my God, I can't even look at this mess. Well, we have to look at the mess. You know, we got to hold our head up. We got to look at them. We got to say, y'all people are out of your mind. You are out of your ever loving mind. But yet, they're out of their ever loving mind, but they're winning. Sure, we're winning, you know, with President Trump. Don't get me wrong. We're winning. We're winning a lot of things, but we're not winning what we need to win. Sure, we've got great foreign policy. You know, he's done a lot of good with the auto industry. He's done good with the coal. He's done good with the fracking, the oil. He's done good with all that. But what good has he done? You and me. What good has he done us, American patriots, having to live in a world of these so-called Democrats? What has he done for us? What has he done for our Second Amendment? What has he done for we patriots, our censorship? We're being censored everywhere. When's he going to do something about YouTube and Facebook and everybody else censoring us? And believe me, we get censored. How I've gotten by so far, I don't know. I've only had 4 videos taken down out of 600. But still, I had 4 took down. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What is here or there is because some so-called law enforcement partners with these ICE people. And now you got to figure, if you're an ICE agent, all right, and you go to a police department, you're supposed to be brothers. You're supposed to be in this thing together. Because some of these law enforcement agencies are just that in name only. They choose not to cooperate with ICE. And that leaves more and more illegal aliens on our streets. Now, why do these officers and these institutions, these police officers, why do they not aid ICE? Are they Democrats? Are they demon rats? What are they? Is it their higher ups that are telling them to do this and they just mind blindly? I mean, that's sort of scary when you stop to think about it. Because, you know, ICE detainers for 165,000 illegal criminals were launched in 2019 with more, get this, 56,000 assaults, 14,500 sex crimes, 5,000 robberies, 2,500 homicides, 2,500 kidnappings. Come on, man, give me a break. This is craziness. This is thanks to sanctuary cities and states and counties. You know, they give a sanctuary to these illegals, and you see what happens. We have approximately 44,000 illegal criminal aliens in custody. But there's 3.2 million, get that, 3.2 million non-detained criminals on our streets. Forget what I just said, you know, about 165,000 illegals being on our streets. That number just went up to 3.2 million non-detained criminals. These are people that they know are criminals, people they have criminal convictions against, but they're not in jail. They're being protected by sanctuary cities, counties, and states. Why are these people being protected? These are criminals. They're murderers. They're accused of sex crimes and robberies and homicides. But yet, they're free to walk the streets of America, in your town, maybe even down your street. You know, this number brings a great challenge. It brings a terrific challenge to you and me, you know, including high levels of absconders. Absconders. You know what that means? I had to look it up. Absconders means somebody that's going to flake out on you, go away. They're not coming back. They won't show up. So absconders abound among family units is the same as it is in non-family units. So in other words, if they get caught and you tell them to come back to court sometime in the future, they never show up. They're absconders. So they don't show up. Why should they show up? There's no need for them to show up. Nobody is going to force them to show up. We are not going to enforce the fact that they have a warrant that should be issued against them for not showing up in court. Immediately, a bench warrant should be ordered for that person's arrest. If it was you or me and we were called into traffic court and we didn't show up, you know what they'd do? At least here in the state of Georgia, that judge right then will issue a bench warrant for my arrest. And if they won't come to my door to arrest me, but if I get pulled over for running a stop sign or having a tag light out, I'm going to jail because I've got a bench warrant on me. But they're not going to come hunting me down. But we need to go hunt these people down. We know who they are. We know approximately where they live. We know everything about them. Why don't we arrest them? Because can't do that. The demon rats won't let you. So you see, we're controlled. Why can we not take these criminals off our streets? Why can we not put them in prison, send them back across the border, execute them, do whatever needs to be done? Why do we keep having to be panty waist patriots? Why can't we be real patriots and stand up for America and end this thing? Or at least start to fight back a little bit. We do nothing. You know, we sit here. All you hear about is all that these demon rats do. And they're doing everything to destroy America. And you hear nothing from the Patriot Party unless you go on to these certain channels. You have to search them out. More than 600,000 illegal criminal aliens are fugitives. 600,000. That's way over 500,000 of them, people, are living in our neighborhoods because ICE can't be more effective without law enforcement cooperation. As simple as that. With no cooperation from these cities and these counties and these state police agencies for ICE, they can't do their job effectively. So you tell me, who is in charge of these police departments? Who are the mayors of these towns? Who are the governors of these states? We need to replace them. See, we're sitting by, we're doing nothing. We're just being patriots, biding our time, sitting on our guns and our ammo. No, the time has come to do something. And Liberty Smith is somebody you need to follow. He contacts the president, he contacts his congressman, and so does Dangerous Freedom. But everybody needs to contact their congressman. They need to tell them we've had enough. We need to at least make our voices heard. Even if they don't listen, we need to make the effort. Because according to ICE, sanctuaries for illegals attract the criminal illegal aliens. Of course they do. And I don't believe the lie that illegal aliens cooperate with the police in a sanctuary city. They say that they have sanctuary cities and counties and states because when they're a sanctuary, well, then these illegal aliens are more than happy to spill the beans on other illegal aliens that you can go catch. No, that doesn't happen. It's proven to be wrong, and it will never happen in a society anywhere. They will never turn on their own. But yet that's what everybody wants to tell you about these sanctuary cities. We need them because they'll help us catch the real illegal criminals. Well, I got news for you. Those are real illegal criminals. They're illegals once they cross that border. Illegally, they are here. They have broke the law. They are criminals. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you think, or what you say. You cross our southern border illegally, 1 foot on our soil, you are a criminal in America. Like it or not. And I could care less if you like it or not. I hope you do, because it's the truth and should always like the truth. The truth is, we have too many of them here. And anyone coming to the United States illegally is a criminal, plain and simple fact. So where do these criminals go? Oh, I know. They go to a sanctuary city. How about that? Isn't that cool? So you got these illegals coming across, and what do they look for? A sanctuary city. You know, unfortunately, we see politicians put their political agendas above the safety of American citizens. You know, they're supposed to protect and serve us. You know, on the police cars that go down my street, on the side of the police cars, it says to protect and serve. Well, you know what protect and serve means? It don't mean you're just there to protect me. You're there to help me if I need you. And I can honestly say, and thank goodness for our police here in this town. I live in a little town called Dallas, Georgia, and they do protect and serve. I'll tell you, I've had several encounters with the police here in town, and it's always been good. You know, you can call them up. You lock your keys in the car. You don't have insurance. You know, you can't call AAA and have them come out and unlock your car and all that kind of stuff. Or you're at the grocery store and do it. If there's a cop anywhere around, I wouldn't recommend calling 911. But if there's a cop anywhere around that you see, you ask him, and he will unlock your car. He's got a Jimmy tool. And believe me, he can unlock your car no matter what kind of car it is. And he'll be happy to unlock it and wish you a good day. If you need a jump, if your car won't start, and there's a cop anywhere around that you can see, he'll give you a jump. If you're stranded on the side of the road, he'll pull up behind you and he'll put his lights on to protect you. And he'll stand there with you till the wrecker comes. And a lot of times they'll even give you a ride home if you don't live far. But you see, not every cop in America is like that. I venture to say very few are. I live in a very good town, a town of good people. I'm blessed, no doubt about that. But you know, law enforcement they're handcuffed. You know, they're handcuffed by these liberal politicians. They've got their hands behind their back. They've even got their ankles handcuffed. I mean, these guys can't do anything against these liberal policies, you know, and they lead to, you know, releasing harder and harder criminals onto our streets. So here we have these demon rats. They're allowing all of this stuff across the southern border. They're trying their level best to take down our president. So here we are. What is the Demon Rat Party? Who are they? What are they? Where in the world did they come from? You know, I remember as a child, my father was a Democrat. He was a Southern Democrat. He voted for Kennedy. Hell, Kennedy was a great man. It doesn't matter that he was a Democrat. What mattered was he believed in good. He may have had his vices, but he was a good man in general. But anyway, to get to the point, my father was a Southern Democrat. If my father was alive right now, he would be a staunch Republican. I don't know how or when it happened, but somewhere over the years since 1960, the Demon Rats have flipped. They've done a 180. They've had a polar shift. No, I hate that name, shift. But they had a polar shift. And they're not what they used to be. Now the Republicans, the patriots, the Americans, the conservatives, we're not always right, but we're right most of the time, and we do try to do right. We want equal for everybody. We're not wanting to take from them for us to have. We're not wanting to take from anyone. I'm happy with what I have. Just let me have what I have, and I'll leave you alone, and we'll all get along. But no, it can't be that way. You see, something happened in the Democrat Party. I don't know what it was. I don't know when it was. I don't know what happened to our American politics. But we have a party now that is so demonic, so evil, so involved in everybody's life. They want us to depend on them for everything. They're talking, open borders, free school, loan forgiveness, all this other crap, free housing, free cars. Everybody wears brown jumpsuits and drives a Volkswagen. I don't know, but that's what they want. They want cows to quit farting. I mean, come on, people. No more airplanes, no more cars. You travel by electric train. That's it. I don't know where they get the power for the train, I guess from Niagara Falls. But anyway, that's what they want. They want to do it quick, and they want to take over America, and they want to destroy America from within. But dangerous freedom, and we discussed Virginia's new gun laws and the fact that Virginia, we really may have a ticking time bomb there, and we need to be ready for it to explode. The fuse has already been set. It's going to explode. We just need to be aware. We need to start paying attention to Virginia. Second Amendment sanctuary cities, towns, and counties, they're voting not to enforce the state gun laws deemed unconstitutional. So they're standing up to the governor and to the lieutenant governor and to the attorney general, and they're telling him, we're not going to abide by your unconstitutional laws. They're taking a big chance. Virginia sanctuaries, they're promoting gun rights, and it's spread around the state like wildfire. 93 jurisdictions now support Second Amendment sanctuary cities, towns, and counties. 93 jurisdictions. But in the politics of this Virginia situation, it's worth noting that the state Dems have already caved on the confiscation of your assault-style weapons. They modified the bill to ban future gun sales of AR-15s and assault-style weapons. The current owners must register their ARs, or they have to turn them in. So either way, they're still talking gun confiscation, or register that gun so we'll know where it's at, so when we want to, we'll come get it. Either way, it's gun confiscation, if you like it or if you don't. And there again, people, y'all know me. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to try my best to bring you the truth and everything that I say. A lot of times I'll let my opinion get in the way, but it's what I truly feel. I'm not going to tell you a lie. It may be a lie, but it's not a lie to me. I believe it is truth. So I'm not going to lie to you on purpose. So if I do, if you catch me in a lie, bring it to my attention, because I try my level best to be as honest as I absolutely know how. And that is, I tell you the truth, like it or not. It doesn't matter, because I'm me, and I got to be me, because without me, there is no me. Look, it took me a long time to figure that out. That's why I'm on YouTube now. I would have never have done this years ago. I've never been one to get in front of a camera. I've never been one to talk to a camera. And I'm not talking to a camera today. I'm talking directly to you, Linda. I'm talking to you, Liberty Smith and DM DeMod and Lone Star Preps and Matilda. I'm talking to all of you individually. You know, if new gun laws are passed in Virginia, Governor Northam, the baby killer, remember him? He says, let the baby lay there for an hour. We'll decide if we want to kill it or not. And if you don't want to kill it, heck, I'll kill it myself. That's Governor Northam for you, baby killer. But anyway, he said there will be consequences. You hear me? The governor said there will be consequences if new laws are not enforced by authorities, up to and include the National Guard. We talked about that a minute ago. But you see, now he's saying, you're going to do what I tell you to do or face the consequences, which will be the National Guard. Now, wait a minute. How is he going to get the National Guard to go in there and do his dirty work when the National Guard is going to be going against their own family, friends, and neighbors? Say he's not thinking. He's a demon rat. All he thinks is, I've got the power of the National Guard, and I'm going to use it. The National Guard will not obey. The National Guard will rebel just like the sheriffs in those counties and those cities and those towns. They're going to rebel just like they did. They're going to say, no, 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 no. We're not killing our family, our friends, our neighbors. No, we're not going into our state and murder people. We're not going to be like those National Guardsmen in Ohio at Kent State that killed 4 innocent college kids back in 1968 or 69. These kids were unarmed, but they got shot dead by the National Guard. Itchy fingers. Well, I got news for you. There won't be no itchy fingers this time. Because I guarantee you, what few National Guardsmen may choose to fire a shot won't live long. We're not going to stand for it. If it takes it, you'll have militias from all over the country flock into Virginia. We're not going to allow this Governor Northam to do the things to Virginia and to this country that he's trying to do. As a side note, several counties in Tennessee are also sanctuary amendment counties now. And they're promising not to enforce unconstitutional gun laws. So you see what's happening? It's spreading. First it was Virginia, then South Carolina, now Tennessee. It's going to keep spreading. We're going to have these sanctuary cities, towns, and counties all across America that say to the governors and to the mayors, we're not enforcing your gun laws. We are not going against the Constitution of the United States. Thank God that we still have some Americans in America. And that's you and me. That's you and me, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friend, your police officer, your mail person, all of you, the fireman down the street, all of you, all of us are America. We're not that panty-waist little liberal group that the Democrats, party to. We're not them. We're not the little crybaby snowflakes, who are going to cry again in 2020 when whoever they choose to run loses again. I don't want to see those poor little snowflakes crying, tears running down their face. Oh no, Hillary lost again. Well, I got news for you. Trump's going to win again. I don't care who he runs against. And I don't care if Hillary Rotten Clinton jumps in there or not. It's going to be just like it was last time. Patriots like you and I, we're going to get out and vote, and that's what we have to do. We have to get out and vote. We can't sit at home. We can't think, well, everybody else is going to vote, so I don't have to. No, that's the wrong way to think. It's not fair. It's not fair to yourself because you've deprived yourself of that vote. And I'm going to tell you, there's one thing in America that belongs to you other than death. And that is the right to vote in America. So if you have the right to vote, exercise that right. Get off your duff. I know it's a pain in the butt to go down to the voting center. But heck, call a friend, call a neighbor. Hey, let's go vote together. Stand in line together. Have somebody to chat with. Get on the phone, play a game, do whatever it is you need to do while you're in line. But go vote. We have to vote in 2020. It's a major thing that we have to do. It's the main thing of 2020. I have to admit this, and I hate to even say it, y'all, but I take my mother, bless her heart, she's 88 years old, and she walks pretty good, but she uses a cane. And I take her to vote, and it doesn't matter if I'm in the back of the line or where I'm at. As soon as somebody sees us, they take us right to the front of the line. So since I'm with her and I'm helping her vote, then so we get moved to the front of the line. And I feel bad about that a little bit. But then again, I am my mother's keeper, and I take care of her. So I go where she needs to go, and I do what she needs to do. And sometimes it benefits me. And the only time I can think that it may benefit me is that I do get to vote, ahead of the line a little bit because she's unable to stand in line so long. But don't be angry at me over that. If that's my only horrible sin, then I'm doing pretty good. I've got more to talk about tonight, but I don't want to go into this topic because I don't have enough time to actually cover it. I'm winding down. I've got 3 minutes left. Hey, Nick the nurse. Whoa, I ain't back here. Nick the nurse. I have 2 more kids who will be eligible to vote in 2020. They will be voting for our POTUS. My daughter was the first time voter in 16 and was excited. Well, thank you for being here, Nick the nurse. Do me a favor. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Join in. Become part of our family, along with Ashley. Ashley says, I'm absolutely voting. It's my right. I won't be doing anything else more important next November 3rd. And that is right. Ashley, that sounds so good coming from you and coming from all these great patriots. It's a blessing having y'all here. No harm came to any rubber duckies, Wilman. I don't know what Florida Jim was saying, but hello, Sandra Ann McGibbon and Luciano and Linda Horner and DM, my favorite mod, Ashley, Matilda. Cool people. I'm glad y'all came in and spent a little time with me. Be sure to be with me Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, we'll be doing our Bible study. I know that DM and other people will be at church at that time. But I will be having a Bible study at 11 a.m. on Sunday. And we are in Genesis chapter 19 through 22 this week. So it's going to be a good study. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get some truth out there. We're going to bring some clarity to the scripture, hopefully, in a way that everybody will understand and appreciate. Other than that, we have to remember dangerous freedom. Glad you're here, brother. I haven't seen you in here yet. And Slate Rock and Tigger Kilman. Thank you, Killam. Ashley, Matilda, Linda Horner. I love y'all. Don't forget, Sunday night, Dangerous Deplorables. We're working on getting our own channel. We're fixing to jump off of Deplorable Bobby, and we're going to start our own Dangerous Deplorable YouTube channel, but we've got to do that yet. So Dangerous Freedom and I are working on that. Right now, we're just trying to, get things rolling. We've had three live streams. We'll have another on Sunday at 8 p.m. So join us then. It's always a good time. We talk about anything gun, anything America, or anything you want to talk about. It's an open topic. So join us on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Right after Alex, Disabled Vets Perspective at 7 p.m. And on Saturday night, you have to remember DM and History Bee at 9 p.m. Check them out. You got to remember American Joe, Pete the Patriot, Tony Patriot. You've got so many in the Patriot family. If you don't know them, pick them up. If you do know them, support them. My name's Deplorable Bobby. This is the way I see it. It's a Friday night, and this live stream is done. I want to thank you for coming, and I'll see y'all Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Sunday morning, 11 a.m.